Hello and welcome to Art Chronica. Today we embark on a fascinating exploration of one of the most iconic works of art in history, Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. This masterpiece has captivated audiences for centuries, not just because of its stunning portrayal of a religious moment, but because of the layers of mystery, hidden messages, and symbolism that Leonardo embedded within it. Whether you're an art lover, a history buff, or simply curious about the deeper meanings in art, this analysis is sure to offer new insights into one of the world's most famous paintings. The Last Supper was painted between 1495 and 1498 during the height of the Italian Renaissance and is located in the convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie in Milan, Italy. This fresco, which measures nearly 15 feet by 29 feet, was commissioned by Ludovico Sforza, the Duke of Milan, for the dining hall of the convent. The scale of the work, combined with its intricate details, showcases not only Leonardo's talent, but also his deep understanding of human emotion, space, and perspective. Ludovico Sforza, a powerful ruler and patron of the arts, commissioned Leonardo to create this piece as part of an overall renovation plan for the convent. The fresco was intended to be a centerpiece in the refectory, where the monks gathered for their meals. The subject matter, the Last Supper, focuses on the moment Jesus shares his final meal with his apostles before his crucifixion. The scene captures the moment when Jesus reveals that one of the apostles will betray him, creating a tense and dramatic atmosphere that Leonardo masterfully conveys. Creating the Last Supper was not without its challenges. Unlike traditional fresco techniques, where pigments are applied directly onto wet plaster, Leonardo experimented with a new technique, using tempera on a dry wall. This innovation, while revolutionary at the time, led to issues with the painting's longevity, as the surface began to deteriorate relatively quickly after completion. Despite these challenges, The Last Supper has survived through the centuries and continues to be studied and admired by millions around the world. What makes The Last Supper so intriguing, however, is not just the beauty of its composition, but the hidden messages and symbols that are woven throughout the painting. From the positioning of the apostles to the use of light and shadow, every element in the work has been carefully crafted to convey deeper meanings. Today, we're going to explore 5 of these hidden messages, details that are often overlooked, but offer profound insights into Leonardo's genius and his understanding of human nature, spirituality, and philosophy. While this masterpiece has been the subject of intense scrutiny and admiration for centuries, there are layers of hidden meanings and subtle details that many people are unaware of. These messages go beyond the obvious religious narrative, revealing fascinating clues about the artist's beliefs, his understanding of human nature, and his innovative approach to painting. So, with that introduction in mind, let's delve into the hidden layers of the Last Supper and uncover the secrets that Leonardo da Vinci embedded in this timeless masterpiece. Let's begin with the table in the painting. At first glance, it may seem like just a basic rectangular table, a common setup for a communal meal. However, if you look closer, you'll notice that the table serves a much deeper purpose in terms of symbolism and geometry. Hidden message number 1: the sacred geometry of the table. The table in the Last Supper is not just any table. Its placement is crucial. It's centered precisely in front of Jesus, whose figure is the focal point of the composition. But beyond that, the arrangement of figures on either side of him forms a powerful geometric shape. The most significant of these is the triangle. At the top of the painting, Jesus forms the apex of a triangle, which is known to symbolize the Holy Trinity in Christian theology: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. This deliberate use of geometry shows how Leonardo used mathematical precision not only to organize the figures, but to imbue the scene with theological significance. Additionally, the placement of the apostles is deliberately balanced, with 3 apostles on either side of Jesus, creating a harmony that visually echoes the spiritual balance of the Trinity. This geometric framing suggests that the divine is not just present in the figure of Jesus, but in the composition itself.
Leonardo's use of geometry in The Last Supper is not accidental. Each line, each angle is meticulously planned to reflect the divine order he believed governed the universe.
Now, let's focus on one of the most debated figures in the painting: Judas Iscariot, the betrayer. His presence in the scene is subtle, but the symbolism embedded in his gesture is far from straightforward. Hidden message number 2: Judas and the shadow of betrayal. Look at Judas's hand. While the other apostles' hands are clearly visible, Judas's hand is positioned in a way that hints at a deeper significance. His hand reaches toward the same dish of bread as Jesus, but notice how it is framed by shadow. He is physically distanced from the light, symbolizing the spiritual darkness surrounding him. More than just the positioning, Judas' hand is the only one in the painting that reaches into the darkness. In Christian iconography, this is often interpreted as a symbol of betrayal, as Judas's actions would lead to Jesus' crucifixion. The shadowed hand hints at the moral and spiritual darkness Judas is about to walk into. Another crucial detail is the fact that his face is in profile, unlike the other apostles, whose faces are turned toward Jesus. This could signify that he is out of tune with the other disciples, more isolated and alienated from the divine truth that Jesus represents.
Judas' hand and the shadow enveloping it serve as a visual prelude to his betrayal. Da Vinci's brilliance lies in his ability to encapsulate moral conflict within such a simple gesture.
Next, let's examine something that might be easily overlooked: the shape formed by the figures of Jesus and John the Apostle. Hidden message number 3: the mysterious M and its symbolism. Upon closer inspection, the figures of Jesus and John seem to form the shape of the letter M. This M has sparked various interpretations over the years. Some believe it refers to the Virgin Mary, while others argue it symbolizes mystery, a theme central to Christian theology and the Eucharist. The fact that the M is formed between Jesus and John, often believed to be the beloved disciple, and sometimes even speculated to be a feminine figure, adds another layer of intrigue. The M could be seen as a representation of the feminine principle, balancing the masculine energy of Christ in the painting. This interpretation is further supported by Leonardo's documented interest in the union of opposites, both masculine and feminine, in the creation of divine harmony. Some also suggest that this shape is a nod to Mary Magdalene, a figure often linked with the Holy Grail legends, though this is more speculative.
By placing this mysterious M at the very center of the composition, Leonardo seems to allude to a spiritual union that transcends the conventional duality of male and female.
One of the most striking features of the Last Supper is what's missing from the scene: the Holy Grail. Traditionally, in depictions of the Last Supper, a chalice is central to the Eucharist narrative, but in Da Vinci's version, it is entirely absent. Hidden message number 4: the absence of the chalice. This absence is not an oversight, it's an intentional choice by Leonardo, who often sought to challenge conventional religious iconography. Instead of a literal cup, the chalice is suggested in a more abstract way. Notice how the figures of Jesus and the apostles seem to create a subtle suggestion of a cup with their hands and their body positioning, but no physical object is ever shown. Some scholars believe that this absence symbolizes a deeper, more philosophical understanding of the Eucharist. Da Vinci, with his profound interest in the mystical and metaphysical, may have been suggesting that the real Holy Grail is not a material object, but a spiritual concept that transcends physical form. And additionally, the choice to leave the chalice out is also thought to hint at the mystery surrounding the Grail, its true nature as not a physical artifact but as a symbol of the divine presence.
By omitting the chalice, Leonardo forces us to look beyond the material world, asking us to contemplate the spiritual significance of the moment.
Finally, let's take a closer look at the figure of St. Peter, the apostle who would later deny Jesus 3 times. Hidden message number 5: St. Peter's gesture and its hidden implications. St. Peter is depicted reaching out toward Jesus with a knife in his hand. This subtle detail is crucial. While most interpretations focus on the emotional tension of the moment, Da Vinci's depiction of Peter's gesture suggests a deeper duality in his character. The knife is a reference to the violence that will soon unfold, but it also symbolizes Peter's complex relationship with Jesus. He is both a protector and a potential threat. Peter's outstretched hand, which is directly aligned with Jesus' figure, could also be interpreted as a visual foreshadowing of his later actions. His right hand is depicted in an almost protective posture, yet the knife, an instrument of violence, is clearly visible, suggesting that even the most faithful of followers can be caught in the web of human weakness and betrayal. This duality in Peter's character, faithful yet capable of violence, is a theme that Da Vinci often explored, showing that human nature is not binary, but filled with contradictions.
Peter's gesture reflects the tension between loyalty and betrayal. Da Vinci's genius lies in capturing these moments of human complexity in a single subtle movement.
As we've seen today, the Last Supper is not just a depiction of the final meal before Jesus' crucifixion, but a painting filled with hidden messages, intricate symbolism, and thought-provoking details. Leonardo da Vinci used geometry, shadow, and gesture to convey deeper truths about human nature, betrayal, divinity, and the spiritual mysteries that surrounded the Eucharist. His masterful use of hidden messages challenges us to look beyond the surface and appreciate the layers of meaning that can be found in every brushstroke. Before we conclude, let's take a moment to admire the extraordinary details and timeless beauty of Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. This masterpiece is more than just a painting. It's a profound visual narrative that has captured the imagination of generations. For the next few minutes, immerse yourself in its intricate details, harmonious composition, and the layers of symbolism that make it one of the most revered works of art in history. Take this time to reflect on its enduring legacy and the genius of Leonardo's vision. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most iconic artworks in history. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more art analyses. And feel free to leave a comment below if you've spotted any other hidden details in the Last Supper that we didn't cover.
Thanks for watching.